Hey, yeah, hey, hope all is well with you. I am Leslie of LesAnn Creations coming to you from my workroom. Hoodoo! I am so excited that I was able to get at least one thing. Actually, it's been two, probably a couple more, but thing done for the hackathon. So, the video today is me actually sewing this garment up. I always need something to keep me covered. Yes, it's hot outside, but right now I am cold. That's why I have it on. Plus, I want so y'all can get a slight preview. You won't see much of it while I am actually putting it together, only because. But most of all, I want to say thank you for all those who've watched my videos, who've come back, who've made comments. I appreciate you. I do 12, 11 jobs, so sometimes if I don't answer, doesn't mean I didn't hear you, didn't see it, didn't read it. It's because I forgot to respond or don't know what to say. Sometimes you just don't know what to say. Being honest. Okay. But anyway, so we're gonna get right to it. It is not gonna I'm doing it really fast. If somebody wants to see like a longer version of it, no problem. I got you. Alright, I want to talk about this real quick. So I modified the sleeve. Um, it's supposed to have a like a 4-inch cuff, I think. A 4-inch, which this is supposed to be the cuff. Um, it's about 4 inches, I think, when you're done. It's 4-inch piece, but it turns out to be 2. Anyway, so I did lengthen this, but I was making enough room. Hopefully, I'm gonna measure it again. Hopefully I added enough, but I spanned the top piece where I ended up with a 1/2 inch in each section, which was a total of 5 sections, which means I ended up with roughly 2¼ or 2½ inches at the top. I didn't want to make it taller where I end up with a cap sleeve that is like really gathered. It's still going to be gathered, but I don't want it to bellow out so much because I have a couple of shirts like that. Even though I love them, I really wanted to do something different. But after making this a little bit wider, I did make the bottom piece wider. So I'm going to actually line it up on the sides. It'll be fine. I'll just scrunch it up a little bit on the top. So I added in here, I think it was a 1/2 inch. No, yeah, this is at least a 1/2 inch. So 1.5 inches right here to span it a little bit wider. I didn't want it too tight on my arm, but I didn't want it to be like a bishop sleeve. So I actually gained 1.5 inches at the top, which is about what I wanted. So it should still fit. And I will probably at the bottom, I may taper it a little bit more to fit my wrist without, or I'm going to put a cuff. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's nothing set in stone. Now, the other thing I would like to do, but I don't know if I feel like doing, is I would like to move my dart. I may do it on the next one, but I'll show you. I would like to move my dart on the shirt from where it is. It's a normal angled one, but I don't feel like, I don't know if I may do it on the next one, so we'll forego this one this time. We may do it on the next one. So I do know that I am gonna lengthen my lengthen it probably about 7 inches, because I did another one 7 to 10 inches at the bottom hem, and swing it out a little bit more so it goes over my hips really easily. And I still have plenty of room right here. Now I will take and put, depending on how it works out, I may end up taking and using the bottom part to make my band that goes around the neck, and just run a seam in the middle. It'll be fine. That's not a big issue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I got more than enough to do this, because literally it's this piece. If I move this over there, that means I won't use the side piece, and I'll use the bottom piece for my band around the neck, which will be fine. So we're gonna go ahead and get this together. I may go outside the line a little bit from the actual pattern piece. I'm not concerned about that. I am going to double check the measurements around my arm to make sure it's where I need it to be. And if I don't use the cuff, if I don't trim this down at the bottom of my sleeve and still use the cuff, I may put some elastic in the cuff to bring it in a little bit more, because this is not a stretchable material. After finishing off redrafting my sleeve, I went on and cut everything out for this project, making sure that I had enough room to get my neck binding out. I did shift the pattern up a little bit higher so that I can get a much longer cardigan. This was pretty straightforward. I think I did one more change, but that was during the process of putting it together. I did put all the markings that I needed to make sure that I had things placed correctly, which often I forget to do. So after finishing all of that, I went on and got back to this the next day or a couple days later. I am doing a testing stitch. I usually do a testing stitch before I get started, just in case it's not sewing well, because I'm using a different type of material. So I do suggest that you always do a testing before you get started, so that you don't make it through your project and end up having to restart again. So here I am actually clipping everything to get started well, I actually didn't clip it, I pinned it. I pinned the shoulder seams together, and I try to do continual patterns or continual stitching throughout. Now, I also did my darts on the machine. A lot of people are nervous about them, but it's really no difference. You just got to make sure you have it positioned correctly, using your left needle as your stitching line. So wherever you would normally stitch, you just make sure that left needle is in the exact place of the 5/8 inch. Works perfectly. It cuts down time of going to different machines. Anyway, so after I did that, I went on and sewed the side seams down. I'm sure people were like, why would you do it that way? This particular reason is because I wanted the sleeve to be inset into the arm's eye. It's much easier when it comes down to it, and when I want to adjust the gathers that will be in the cap of the sleeve. So that's the main reason why I did it. Plus, it just happens to be easier that way. Once I have finished sewing that, I'll go ahead and sew my sleeve seams. I don't think I have a picture of me actually installing the cuff that I put into place. I did a cuff and added about 1.5 inches elastic inside, which gave me a little bit more cinchness because this fabric does not stretch. Does not stretch. It has a stretch, but it's more mechanical and it's only a minimum amount. Now, I'm also at this current time, you may not see it in the screen, I am doing my cap sleeve. I am actually easing in the top of my cap in order to set it into the jacket. Now, once I do that, I'll go ahead and start to work on the neck binding. Now, with the neck binding, I had to fold it in half and I started from the center back, putting it into place. By doing it this way, I actually can make sure that the seam that I created to make the binding stays in the center and it doesn't look like it's off, like it was intentional, because originally it did not have that stitching line originally. Now, with this process, I am pinning one of the layers first. I don't fold it completely in half because this fabric is kind of thick. So I start off doing one layer and then I come back and actually do the second layer. So that's what you see me actually manipulating the fabric so that both layers are going to get caught in the serger machine. It is, I will tell you, this fabric is a very thick polyester. If you can think of like 1970s where the fabric will last past your grandma's age, that's the kind of fabric this is. Do I normally work with it? No. Have I worked with it before? Yes. And it's fine. It's not something that I work with on a regular basis, but I do understand the fabric. It's just much thicker, much more durable. So I can say that this will be around forever. But here's the review. All right. I have fixed and finished 6305 new look. This is a hack. What did I change? The sleeves. Made a cuff sleeve. I did make it a little bit more gathered. I had to bring it in some. I've told y'all before, I'm thick in the hips. So Leslie had to accommodate these. So I actually swished it out in the hip area. And then I did elastic in the back to kind of bring it in so it wouldn't be so bulky. I probably could have did this probably up maybe 1 inch or 1/2 inch. But where it is fine. Or I could have made it more cinch, but I didn't want to do it. I am wearing a size 20. I actually like it. I will make a mental note or a complete change on my pattern. It's supposed to be kind of off the shoulders. I don't like off the shoulders too much. So I'm actually, the next time, I'm still going to make the 20 because I want more room and for it to drop more straight down in the front. I will probably take it in right here, like up another inch. So I actually remove it off the shoulder so that my sleeve caps will be on my shoulders. Wouldn't that be nice? But for the most part, other than that, it is a great little thing to throw on. I'm not going to style it right now, but hey,